Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Marchesa, Dealer of Death. For 1 blue, 1 black, and 1 red, it's a legendary creature, human rogue, 3/4, with whenever you commit a crime, you may pay 1. If you do, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Targeting opponents, anything they control, and or cards in their graveyards is a crime. So this is really powerful as a card draw engine. Tacking on 1 mana to all of your spells to get to look at the top 2 cards of your library and put one into your hand and the other into the graveyard is absolutely amazing card advantage. But here's the thing, you don't actually need to do it when you're casting spells. You can just do it with activated abilities too, because committing crimes is something that lots of different cards can do, as it turns out. So the immediate thing that came to mind for me were pingers. Just having any number of pingers in your deck means that every time you ping with them, you can pay 1 mana to get this amazing card draw effect, which seems really good. But outside of pingers, which is a little bit gimmicky, I'll admit, this is basically in Grixis, which are the control colors. And you know what control decks like to do? Target their opponent's things. Because of that, you're basically never gonna run out of ways to trigger this, as long as you're a bit mindful about the creatures you include in your deck, for example. But yeah, something like Ravenous Chupacabra, for example, becomes insane when you get the option of adding an extra mana to it and then getting this card draw effect. Any number of cards become insane with this, and it also works with stuff like counter spells as well, because a spell on the stack is still something that they control. So again, even something like an Offer You Can't Refuse, which is a 1 mana counter spell, allows you now to just add 1 tiny little mana onto it and get so much value. Because of this, it's going to make playing a control deck an absolute breeze with this card, seeing as it's very hard for you to run out of card advantage. You can then throw in some reanimation effects, seeing as you're going to be fueling your graveyard as well, incidentally, and reanimation effects that target stuff in their graveyards can also double up as ways to commit a crime if you really need to. So something like Reanimate, for example, is absolutely fantastic here, because it can either reanimate one of the cards you've dumped with Marchesa into your graveyard, or it can just target one of your opponent's cards and then you can tack a mana onto it and get Marchesa's effect. You can even run cards that you might not normally run, such as Hilda's Crown of Winter, because being able to repeatedly target your opponent's things means that you can repeatedly draw cards by tacking on an extra mana onto it. There's really so many ways to target stuff, and it's actually a very open-ended way to build the deck. There's probably a bunch more that I'm not even thinking of right now, which is also probably the reason that there is a mana cost on this ability and that it just doesn't happen, because usually when we see kind of generic mana like this tacked onto abilities, it's because there's a possibility for something to go infinite and they want to make sure that it's not that easy for you to do that. In any case, it seems very powerful for just 3 mana, but you do obviously need to have the extra mana to start getting value immediately, or else you're probably gonna have to wait till you untap. It's not really my kind of deck because I'm not into control decks necessarily as much, but if this is your cup of tea, then you're gonna be very excited with the new Marchesa, because she certainly can bring a lot to the table, and having a graveyard sub-theme is so powerful as well, because there's just so many ways that you can also build around that. Anyway, I foresee this being extremely popular in the Grixis colors, probably one of the most popular commanders in this set, although we're seeing a lot of bangers in this set so far, so who knows. Thankfully though, it is only a rare, so at the very least it shouldn't be very expensive. So there you have it, those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe, it really helps the channel, and until next time, take care.